Hello, welcome back to another episode of the video podcast. We're going to talk about investment opportunities in a location you may not know about. This is a great opportunity. As a real estate investor, there's never a wrong time to buy, regardless of economic condition, regardless of what doom and gloom negative headlines out there we've been experiencing the past few years. As a real estate investor, you have to understand there are more than 3,000 cities in the country. In the US, there are more than several hundred counties. There are so many locations, so many strategies. My guest host, once again, is Julie.
Good morning, Seewing. Thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Julie, by the way, is a perfect person to talk about this investment strategy. What I'm about to share you is something that a lot of you can do it if you are a first-time investor. If you think you cannot do it, if you think you cannot buy investment properties, you could be wrong. Have an open mind and listen to this video. Oh, by the way, Julie, she has purchased in this particular market, we're going to talk about 6 rental properties. So she has several years ago. Not only that, Julie have experienced a lot of positive results portfolio. So she's a perfect person to give you exactly what's going on in her situation. And you guys can do the same. Julie, we are going to talk about this Midwest market. Over the years, many people, many investors for decades have achieved very good success buying rental properties in this type of markets in the Midwest of the USA. Midwest, we need to talk about Indiana or Ohio or Michigan or Tennessee or state or so anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So this property, something could be you guys could be blown away. Particularly if you are a newbie, if you are a real estate investor somewhere out there, if you're located in the high cost area, like in California or New York City or New Jersey or Northwest Washington State, Seattle, you located in a very expensive markets where you're unable to buy rental property for cash flow. Many investors, including Julie and myself, and many of our investors have gone out of state to buy cheaper properties that could have a good return, to have a good positive cash flow. Right? So this is no exception. So I know this. Some of you guys are thinking, "Oh, this is too good to be true. How can you buy a $53,500 property? How do you buy this? Where? How? What kind of system? How can one do it?" Furthermore, all you need is a total down payment, including closing costs, of a little bit less than 15 grand. And another criteria is you have the good credit. If you have a FICO score of 700 or above, if you have a good income, good W-2, you can document. You can do a full document loan. You can buy this cash flow property. So, Julie, so some people are thinking when they're watching this, they think this is too good to be true. So why tell the audience, Julie, you have purchased 6 rentals in the market. Tell the audience why you believe it is not too good to be true. This this number is a realistic investment and so one to be very successful in this market. So tell the audience first-hand experience.
Yeah, it's actually a very realistic number. In fact, I will share with you all or share with your audience. One of the properties we bought was even less than that. It was in the 40s. I think it was 42,000 or something like that. And I do want to stress they're not fixer-upper properties. They're not in horrible neighborhoods. But we've had a lot of success with that one particular property, being able to rent it out. It's a small place, but it is perfect for a single person or even maybe a married couple. And the tenant has been paying and it's been great. So yeah, it's not a dream. It's not fantasy. It's not something that happened 20 years ago or whatever. It's actually happening today. You can get something in that particular area, Niagara Falls, which is actually where our properties are as well. Or some of our properties are in Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Not only that, Julie, when you bought these type of properties around 3 years ago, some of your properties were at this price point. And tell the audience over the past 2 to 3 years, in terms of equity appreciation, in terms of rental income increase, tell me from a high level, what transpired with your 6 property portfolio in this particular market?
Very good question. Because we have, with regards to the rental increases, we have experienced rental increases on all of our properties. And like you said, we've only owned the one that we've had the longest we've had for about 3 years. It'll be 3 years actually in July. because I remember it closed right around my birthday. So we haven't had all 6 of them for the full 3 years, but they have all increased in value. I was really shocked at how quickly the value was going up. But I remember a couple of years ago, you showing us, and there was some information where Buffalo, Niagara Falls properties were skyrocketing and people were lined up around the door to just see one property. So that clearly had an effect on the entire area. And yeah, I mean, everything, we have benefited tremendously from the increase in rents, which again, what we did fixed mortgages. So when you get a little bump in increase, that's a bump in rentals, an increase in the rentals, it offsets what you're having to pay on the mortgage, which by the way, the tenants are paying the mortgage anyway. So there's a lot of pluses to owning property in this area.
Yeah, that's very good. So in terms of briefly, what about in the past 10 years? What about the vacancy factors? What about the stability of the tenants?
Mhm.
And also a kind of maintenance and repair and upkeep that had
Mhm.
that experience with it.
I think as an investor, I would say yes to all of that, but we have had some vacancies. But the company, the team that we work with back east, Buffalo Turnkey and their property management people, they are very quick to get the properties turned around. Like, I don't think any of them, like, we've had a couple of tenants move, which is nice too, because most of our tenants have been very stable. We've had a couple of move, they've gotten in there, they've done whatever necessary repairs, and they've been minor, maybe fix a broken window or just wash the carpet or whatever. And they're very quick to get somebody back in there. Like I said, we haven't had any property where we've had a tenant or we didn't have a tenant for like a month or anything like that. I know that's a big fear for investors a lot of times, particularly like when the property is so far away. Like we were sharing, I'm here on the East, or I'm on the West Coast in California. My properties are on the East Coast in New York, but I don't worry about it because if part of being successful in this business is having a successful team that you can trust. And yeah, we don't really worry about those type of things. Have we had a few repairs to do? Absolutely. These are older homes. They're not brand new, but I got to tell you, the older homes sometimes stand up better than the newer homes. We've been very successful. And again, our property managers really work with us. We've had very little, if any, outlay of cash beyond the initial deposit or down payment. We've had very little outlay of cash on our part because, as I said, the tenant is paying for the property.
Yeah, this is a turnkey, almost past investment. It's long distance remote investing. For the past 3 years in your 6 rental property portfolio, tell me on a monthly basis, how much time do you spend in so-called quote unquote managing and looking out
Right.
your 6 property portfolio?
That's a great question too. And I think that the advantage of having a team is that you spend very little time personally working at it. I honestly sometimes forget that we have rental property until the 15th rolls around, we receive our rental receipts, and then it's like, oh, okay, I got to do a little bit of work. Which is, the work is basically inputting it into our system to keep the property tracker, which you taught me about, big plug for property tracker, inputting the information into the system and sending 2 of our properties are in our self-directed IRAs. I don't know if your audience knows a lot about that, but, and there's 2 pieces of paper, one for my husband, one for myself. So we send those in, which take me about 3 minutes to do that. And then the other 4 properties, like I said, it takes virtually no time. I was saying an hour and a half max.
That's why it comes from the horse's mouth. That's
Yeah.
we're almost 100% passive, but your returns are potentially much higher than a stock
Mhm.
or any other asset class. But although I took the liberty of presenting this very low price
Mhm.
key rehab already rented property, but in this market, our turnkey provider, Buckle Turnkey, they have other properties
Mhm.
which are higher in price point, and in fact, they have duplex, triplex, fourplex, even sixplex from
Mhm.
100,000 to 150,000 to $200,000.
Right.
So, but I took the liberty of using this lowest price point just to instill that this is a potential possibility for anybody out there that want to be.
Absolutely.
Although we are directing this presentation to first-time investors who have perhaps they have limited capital to invest.
Mhm.
But if you have, like I said, if you have a little bit less than 15 grand, you qualify for us to get a loan. And we have lenders in place that can do this kind of small loans, which is
Right.
not easy at all, as you also
Right.
can see. Julie. And also when the lenders appraiser do the appraisal for this property, it is a very realistic price. It's a fair market value.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
also you can do an inspection report. The inspection report will show you all the issues, and they're doing any inspection report. The seller of Turnkey in this case, they willing to fix any cosmetic repair necessary, most of it free of charge, because they want you to become successful investor. So tell me about the inspection report and how flexible and how easy it is to do.
Mm. Oh, yeah. The inspection report is your eyes and ears, or I would say that's your eyes and ears. Because again, I'm not there. I've never been to New York. I'm not flying to New York to inspect the property, but I have a very good inspector, Chris, and he goes through the property with a fine-tooth comb. He looks at all the major important stuff, the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, all the things that people worry about, inspects, like I said, with a fine-tooth comb, points out everything. In fact, my husband is in construction, and he really appreciated how thorough Chris was in going through this and doing his inspection. And then that gives us an opportunity to really see what's going on with the property and if we want to proceed forward. And I think, again, being so far away, people need to understand you do still have an out. If you feel like it's too much or if it needs a whole new roof and you just don't want to take the time or take the chance or whatever, you can move on to another property. And the team that we're working with is very accommodating. They understand, but they also understand they want to sell the property as well. So they will work with us. So we had one situation where, I don't know, it needed about $5,000 worth of repairs. And I think they ended up picking up the majority of it. We did share in some of the costs, but they picked up on the majority of it. And it worked out fine. It doesn't add that much more to your down payment and or your monthly payments. And again, this is a long-term strategy. I think people need to understand, okay, what we did was a long-term strategy. I can't speak for your entire audience. A couple $1,000s on a roof over a 30-year period is nothing. And then once again, the tenant is paying for the property. So yeah, the team that we work with, relationships are very important. The teams that we work with, we have a great relationship with them. They are very honest, and I don't worry about what's happening back in New York. Like I said, until I forget we have property until I get the check sent on the 15th. That's great.
That's very reassuring, very impressive. By the way, the strategy for any investors, whether you are a newbie, whether you're an experienced investor, over the years, Buckle Turnkey, they have hundreds and hundreds of investors buying into this false market property. This kind of properties are not the multiple listing service, but Turnkey own this kind of property, right? They buy a portfolio property every single month. They use their own crews and contractors to rehab the property with a very substantial discount because they're getting a lot of discount materials from the local Home Depot stores. So the savings they achieve from the rehab and then put it into the market for retail investors, out-of-state investors like us. We're getting a good deal. We can get below market value properties each and every time because of our turnkey provider. Our seller is so legitimate. They've been doing it 30 years. So the property we just show you, if everything is part of the cash flow, this property for $53,000 is rented for $785.
Nice.
And
Nice.
actually, most of these properties are already rented. So,
Yes.
and
good point. Yes.
yeah, and then it's all rehab. You don't have to pay any more rehab property cost. You just buy turnkey, all done. Cash flow from day one, you close escrow. And a lot of our investors, newbies and experienced investors, they buy financing, 20% down financing, as you can see on this property, over 15 grand out of pocket. Or you can do 25% down payment if you want. But you buy a duplex or higher, yes, you will have to put 25% down payment.
Right.
There's a lot of duplex, triplex, and fourplexes available on every monthly basis on these off-market listings. A lot of investors, they buy 3 or 4 or 5 properties and finance this type of low-cost property through our lender. I've got 2 lenders that are willing to do these kind of low, very small loans, which is not easy at all.
Right.
And then many of our investors, including yourself, are using their self-directed IRA to use the all cash in the IRA to buy this property all cash and have the money, have the cash flow, and share you low tax deferred at age 69 and a half. So many investors from overseas have purchased into this unique market from this
Yes.
turnkey provider, Buffalo Turnkey, and many of the out-of-state investors from all over the country, not just
Mhm.
our own investors that I have in our network here in California. This is it's not an exciting market. It's not a market where the mainstream media can talk about. But we don't want the mainstream media to know about it because within right, Julie?
Mhm. Absolutely, because I think the main thing is it's an investment. So it doesn't really matter if it's a sexy market. It's not New York City. It's not Vegas. It's not Los Angeles. But the goal was to create another source of income for us as we move towards our golden years, our retirement years. And I also want to express, I did, and you have said this before, my husband and I, we did get a late start in this program. So are in the whole investing arena. And I just want to emphasize to your clients, the people that are listening, we had never done this before. So I didn't have any experience. I had never even bought my own home before. I live in my parents' house, but have my own properties now. And these are our properties. They're not part of a syndicate. They're not part of a group or a network of people all putting in. We all get a 16th of it. No, these are actual properties that my husband and I own in our name. So it can be done. We had no experience, like I said, in owning properties. And I just want to thank you for the way you walked us through it. But you were very available because I am a person that has a lot of questions. Even when I was a little kid, I wanted to know like how did Santa get to all the houses in one night? So I've always had a lot of questions, and you always received my questions. You explained things very well. You gave us a lot of support. You returned phone calls, all that. So that really helped me make the decisions. And like I said, once you buy the first one or two, then the rest of them become very easy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind words. And so as we conclude on this video, my takeaway, my recap is that I don't care where you live in California or Pacific Northwest, or in Chicago, or in the Northeast, where your markets are very expensive and you can't buy cash flow properties in your neighborhood, right? And
Right.
so this is an opportunity in this particular market, and you can achieve success.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. And
Thank you.
if you see any value from this video, please like and subscribe and comment below. And also subscribe to our newsletter on my website below, so you can become a free member of our real estate investment club, if you will. So you can get more about not only this specific investment market that we have other markets that we also uh, targeting as well. It's all about getting education and learning within our networking, become an informed and educated investors, achieve financial success for yourself and your family for the future. Thank you so much. This is Seewing and Judy for attending.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.